When I was around 12 years old, I wanted to keep a fish as a pet. So my mother and I went to a pet shop. While I was looking at the aquarium, I noticed one particular fish. It was totally upside down, floating in the water. And I immediately thought it was dead. I even told the shop owner that this fish is dead. But the shop owner looked at me and calmly said, "No, it's just an acting." I didn't understand what that meant at that moment. So I walked away to look at other fish. But when I turned back around again, the same fish was completely normal, swimming like nothing had happened. That moment honestly shocked me because what I saw was not the truth. It only appeared to be. In fact, studies in animal behavior have shown that many species use deception as a survival strategy, whether to avoid predators or to capture prey. According to Rexton, Sherrod and Speed 2014, deception such as camouflage, mimicry, and behavior strategies plays a critical role in helping animals survive in complex environments. This means what I experienced as a child is not just a coincidence. It is part of much a larger pattern in nature. A very good day to everyone. My name is Priya Tharsini, anak perempuan Arunasalam. My metric number is 960-308-085-660-001. I'm currently pursuing a Bachelor in Nursing Science with Honours at Petaling Jaya Learning Centre. This speech is prepared for the course OUMH 1303 English for Oral Communication for the January 2026 semester. Today, I will be delivering an instructional speech entitled Animal Deception: How to Recognize Hidden Survival Strategies. The purpose of this speech is to help you understand how animals use deception, and more importantly, how we can recognize it in real life. First, let us look at one of the most well-known examples, the chameleon. The chameleon changes its color to match its surroundings. At the first glance, you may not even realize it there. This is known as camouflage. So, what should you observe? When looking at animals, do not only focus on movement. Also observe the environment carefully. Sometimes the animal is already there. You just cannot see it. Secondly, some birds also use behavioral deception. For example, certain birds will pretend to be injured. They drag their wings and move as if they were weak. But in reality, they are not injured at all. They are trying to distract predators away from their nest. So how do we recognize it? When you see unusual behavior, do not immediately assume it is real. Ask yourself, is this behavior natural or is it a strategy? Thirdly, monkeys shows a more advanced form of deception. Some monkeys hide their food, especially when other monkeys are watching. But when they are alone, they behave normally. This shows that animals can change behavior based on situation. So when observing animals, always consider the context. Who is watching? What is happening around them? Now, let us look at something much closer to us. Dogs. Many of us see dogs as honest, loyal animals. But surprisingly, dogs can also show deceptive behavior. For example, some dogs will pretend to be injured or act weak just to gain attention or sympathy from their owner. And sometimes when they know they are not supposed to do something, they will act innocent, even though they already know what they did. I believe some of us here have experienced this before. So what should we learn from this? Even in familiar animals, behavior is not always genuine. As observers, we must not rely only on appearances, but understand the intention behind the behavior. And lastly, one of the most fascinating examples of deception can be seen in the octopus. The octopus can change not only its color, but also its texture and shape, allowing it to blend perfectly in the rocks, sand, and coral. In some cases, it can even mimic other animals. So what should we learn from this? When observing animals, do not only focus on obvious movement. Pay attention to small details such as color, texture, and surrounding, because sometimes the animal is hiding in plain sight. Just like the fish I saw as a child. What I believed at first was not the reality. And this is exactly how deception works. In addition to these examples, I also had the opportunity to observe animal behavior and deception during my visit at Zootyping Night Safari. I specifically went at night because I wanted to see how animals behave when visibility is reduced. During my visit, I spoke to a zookeeper, and he explained one by one that some animals rely on stillness, positioning, and environmental blending as a part of their survival strategies. As I observed the animals, I realized something very important. Many of them appeared inactive or difficult to notice, but in reality, they were fully aware of their surroundings. Especially at night, even the smallest movement can reveal their presence to the predators of prey.
One of the ways they are hunting is gimmick. Dia tarik perhatian orang, dia buat comel-comel, terguling, tergoyang.
So what should we learn from this? When observing animals, do not assume that stillness means inactivity. Sometimes, stillness itself is a form of deception. This experience helped me understand that animals' deception is not always obvious. It is often subtle, quiet, and easily overlooked. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, animal deception is not about lying. It is about survival. From camouflage to pretending to behavioral strategies, animals have developed remarkable ways to influence what others see in order to protect themselves and survive. Through these examples, we can clearly understand that deception in animals is not a random one. It is purposeful and essential for the survival. Therefore, as observers, we should not rely on only what is visible. We must learn how to observe carefully, think critically, and question what appears obvious. Because sometimes what looks real, it's not the truth, but a strategy for survival. So don't just look, learn to see. Thank you so much for your attention.